Now, straight into the analysis. So, hola familia. Today we're going to be looking at Loud versus GAM. I was wrong, but was I? Right? Was I? So, I've prepared some things today. And it's going to be just the double game analysis as well as what changed. What changed, guys? His hola familia breaks you. Sexual. And so yeah, topics for today are, was I wrong? Was I wrong? And obviously Loud CBLOL. How did CBLOL play? How did Loud play when they were in CBLOL? And when they went to Korea and they trained, what changed? Right? This is super important because Loud did improve. I know a lot of haters were here telling me that they're like, haha, 40-60. So I want to show you guys my recent video. Like, basically, in our last video, what we said was, I think Loud vs. GAM is 40-60, which means they're going to win 40% of the time this series, right? Which is not bad. But if they fix their issues, they can win 60-40% of the time. Did I think it was likely? No, I'll be honest. Because fixing a problem short term is not easy to do. But I think maybe they watched the video, right? Maybe they got some outside help from some talented coaches. You know, who knows? Who knows what happened? But I do want to say, and sorry guys, no traduz today. I thought that Loud can win 60-40 versus GAM as well. You can read it here. Loud can win 60-40. Right? I want to make this very, very clear. And, there were some things that were really, really amazing to me, but I did write a comment, caralho, when, when, because, okay guys, if there's anything I learned about this video is do not bet against the Robo God. Do not bet against the Robo God. Because what I saw in solo queue and what I saw on the CBLOL final stage, Robo is a player that gets better with time. Robo is a player that gets better with under pressure, right? So if the police are like swatting him, he doesn't give a shit. He plays even better. And of course, Root and Seos, I didn't realize how big their power was. Muito power. Very, you see? So those were the things that I kind of underestimated. And, I thought they were normal, but it was so big that they had to walk around like this, The testicles were so big that they had to walk around like this. So, yeah, I mean, all right. Okay, Brazil, you got me. Okay, you got me. Yeah. So what did Loud do to get better, right? What did Loud do to get better? Well, first of all, let's analyze how they played, and what my main kind of criticisms of Loud was, right? For me, my main criticisms of Loud was two things, right? One was the early game, macro / laning phase. So early game laning phase. And two was the objective, team objective fighting. So for me, okay, let's go up here. For me, if I had to choose between early game versus late game, I will always choose early game. Logic is pretty simple. Early game gold is more valuable than late game gold. Anyone that played League of Legends will agree. True? Agree? So when we see Loud, some things that were worrying. Well, we saw games where they even lost to Pain Gaming in this series, where the game boomed. But more importantly, when I saw them play around the objective, these are not good positions, right? This is a flip. This is not a good position to start the Nash. And when you look at the Drakes as well, guys, when you look at the Drakes in general and how they play and how they buy space, I felt like both Pain Gaming and Loud were not... CBLOL in general was not very good at playing around bushes and taking control. I also analyzed Titan's game between Red and I believe INTZ. And we saw the same kind of pattern. Okay? So for example, when we look at the 21-minute mark or 22-minute mark of this fight, yeah, it was here. Loud take control. Loud get mid push. Great. The initial movement was great. Now they go into river. Now, if you're logically thinking about Loud's composition, they have Zeri, they have Xerath, they're outrange, right? So what you should see is something like this, where because they have this zone of control, I want to see them hold this pixel. You never want to give this pixel for free. This is very important because if you give this pixel, you give them space to 50-50 the dragon. And when you look at left side draft, they have engage, they have Poppy, they have Malphite, they have Rel. And this is a very kind of low mobility mage on mid, and they have a lot of hard engage, right? So straight front to back, if Loud do not poke Pain Gaming before the fight, they lose. And this is also sole point, right? So what I expect to see is something like Xerath sitting here, Na sitting here, Sejuani sitting here, blocking the entrance, Seos on a flank, with the intention where when they take vision, they lose HP. It's okay to give the vision, but they lose HP, and then they look for a fight, right? This is very standard in high-level gameplay. So, but what we see is Loud, just Robbo's like walking off. He's like, okay, I have no mega, so he walks spot. But this is actually a really big mistake. This is actually a very big mistake. You want to be kind of poking them down before they come in, but he leaves. And then Pain just get control for free. This was something that I was really worried about. So the win condition was, and what I said in my analysis was, if Loud can fix their problems around the objective, right? Because now, technically, if Dinkido sits in this position, holds this choke, and doesn't let them in for free, this is lost. This dragon is lost, they get soul. Right? If they can fix these problems, Loud can win. But if they can't, it's going to be hard. Because I think that GAM will snowball. So, I mean, I'll show you the rest of the VOD, but basically, the only reason this fight ends up being good for Loud is because Pain Gaming also don't know how to play around the objective. They really don't want to be giving this space for free, right? Wiser sits here, or maybe Pro Delta. Dinkido pokes them in while they come out. B-Boy gets ready to turn. You know, maybe Pro Delta sits somewhere like here. There's so many ways where this goes wrong because they have hard engage, this side doesn't. Not as much. I mean, they have Rakan Sejuani, but this side is a lot better in terms of dive, right? And so in general, when I saw CBLOL games, I saw a very, very strong pattern when it came to a lack of positioning and understanding of lane phase as well as the objective fight, right? And something else that I was worried about, obviously, is that, yes, I do agree that Slater and Pallet got completely fisted. I didn't expect as big of a gap as I saw in bot lane. Arrombada. Yeah? That was that. So basically what I want to say is, was I wrong? Was I wrong? I don't think so. I'll be honest, guys. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll be honest. I don't think I was wrong. But did Loud improve? What changed? Guys, what changed? Number one, Robs. Don't bet against the Robbo God. This man? But... Woo! Guys, I saw Micro Onde's play, okay? And Jesus fucking Christ, he was trolling. Guys, I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I analyzed Micro Ondas about 10 games on stream, and good God, he was trolling so hard. So I was like, okay, this is like, oh my God. But yeah, number one, Robs. Some big improvements. And found some really smurf angles. Number one. Number two, I didn't realize how big this guy's balls were. Like, oh wait, I can't say that. Can I get banned? Okay, wait. Basically, he's very clutch. Okay? Because this is a world stage. So I expect them to play worse. But they play even better. Okay? This guy does not give a fuck. Like, it could be World War 3, and this is the eye he gives you, you know? He doesn't give a fuck. Like, that's my number one. And you'll see this in the game one analysis. Basically, like, he found really good angles to go in around Herald, game one, and brought back the game. And number 2 is Croc. So I think Croc improved a lot around objective and team fighting, right? I do think that Croc is probably the best jungler in Brazil right now, but I also think that he had a lot of flaws. Like, he has a lot of issues with his game, and he found a lot of good team fight angles, and he found a lot of like side lane attack angles. Just realize, guys, like, Croc has to play in a team where all 3 laners want attention, right? So, you know, Seos and Root want help, mid want help, top want help, right? So Croc is not going to look as good as someone like Aegis in CBLOL because he can't farm. He needs to run around and help team. Guys, when you say top don't need help, like, he's just gonna, the game is gonna chill, and he's just gonna be like, okay, the wave is bad. Rob is gonna trade 1v2. I'm gonna go top. Number 3, objectives. Much better. Very good. But around objectives, we saw Loud improve a lot. And finally, I don't know what happened, but Root and Seos were on Cracado that day. Right? Like, huge power. So, hey. Let's watch game 1. Let's do an analysis of game 1, and I'll tell you exactly what I think happened. To give you guys a rundown of game 1 draft, I think that Loud hard lost draft. I think that Loud hard lost draft in game 1. And I thought that if they lose this game, game 2 is going to be harder. So something that you guys need to realize is, from my experience as a head coach, assistant coach, strategic coach, general manager, in BO3 and BO5, momentum is really scary. Momentum is really scary. Why is momentum scary? When you lose the first game in a BO3, when you lose one more, it's like you have a huge bow down your throat. Like, when you lose one, because giga pressure. You know what I mean? Make sense? Make sense? BO5 is like, third game is always scary. So yeah, I thought that Loud were in really big trouble, to be honest. I think game 1, Beelzy / team got hard outdrafted. TLDR, Renekton first pick is fucking illegal. Okay? Fucking illegal. So the reason Renekton first pick is OP is because Orianna, Xayah tier is really high. The best AD on this patch at the moment is Kai'Sa Xayah, I think. Not 100%, but I think. Right? And the reason it's illegal is Kai'Sa is if you take Renekton 1 and GAM take Orianna Xayah, you give GAM 2 of the most OP champs in both roles. Orianna and Xayah are really good into Renekton. Presente? Makes sense? Presente? So the reason Xayah over Kai'Sa is if blue side take Rakan away from Xayah can counterpick support. Lulu, Nautilus. Make sense? No, I just think they think that basically the role here is they are not tunneling on Robbo losing lane. I think they trust him. That's why they first pick Renekton. There are 2 reasons why Loud picks Renekton. 1, they want to hide picks. So Robbo is sacrificing himself for better draft. Better to hide comp. So this is 1 reason, I think. And 2 is that Robbo, how to say this, wants to play 1v2 and alone. They want to give Seos melee champs because Seos is not the best on enchanters, right? And Renekton is one of the best, if not the best, weak side champ with good 1v2 and first herald. GAM win condition is win early. Why? Loud is actually so much better mid late game and on split side. I said this in my analysis as well. The reason I gave Loud 40 or 45 points out of 50 was because I thought that Loud is way better in side lane, right? For example, Tinones and Robo know how to play side. So Mini Chilio says that, yo, tripping, bro. CeeEl is good with everything. It's all like subjective, right? Because I've worked with like Trimby. So like things are all relative. Like when you work with a really good enchanter player, obviously there are levels to the game, right? But I do think that CeeEl's melee play is good enough wherever he plays. So basically, I mean, in Brazil, I think he's by far the best. But basically, what you're seeing here is Renekton 1, Orianna Xayah, Rakan takeaway, support counter. So now what's going to happen is GAM get the best scaling, best mid, counter pick bot lane, and counter pick top lane, right? Right? Basically, what you see here is the Rakan takeaway, and it's either one of the two. It's basically Xayah having Xayah getting Xayah Rakan or Xayah having counter pick bot, right? And basically what Loud is saying is, okay, you guys can have Xayah, we'll take the other OP. But when you break down draft, Kai'Sa, Rakan, Renekton is what? Short arms. They are outranged. Team fighting is not easy. So the way you draft Bagre. The way you counter Orianna Xayah is poke. Jace Rumble, Jace Ezreal, Jace Varus, you know, Xerath. It's etc, right? Even though it's draft gap, I think Loud made the right decision. You can't draft for theory every game. You need to adjust to the region, your team, and accept the reality. Loud strength is simple going comp. So play Loud comp. It's okay if you lose draft. That's what I thought. But on paper, this draft is doomed. So on paper. And you know, Pilot ends up picking the Nautilus, which is a counter pick into the Rakan. And then they have Orianna Xayah outranging Renekton and Kai'Sa. Obviously, Kai'Sa can go, you know, Nash's Tooth build, but you know, W Max Kai'Sa is actually not that great into Ori because you just shield the damage, and then obviously you just get out DPS in team fight, right? And the second issue, well, I mean, they picked Renekton, right? So on 4-5, when enemy pick Nautilus on 3, or when enemy pick on 3rd, so red side, they have to choose Renekton counter pick or support counter pick. But they chose Nautilus, right? So why don't they ban top counters? Or at least good combos, right? So for example, Jarvan is really good ban here. Because if they get Rumble Jarvan, they have Orianna, Rumble, Jarvan, Xayah. How do you play? It's so fucking hard, by the way, if they're a good team. I think that Loud, to be honest, we're also choking. The thing that you have to realize about competition, guys, also, is that, like, on any day, things can go terrible. Your player can be sick, you can be nervous, you can play worse. So, for example, when I had Croc in Australia, we were in the finals, and Croc got really sick. You know? So, okay, I understand the K'Sante ban. The K'Sante ban is a target ban into Kiaya. Kiaya looked very good domestically, right? So okay, I understand K'Sante ban. Kiaya looked really good on this champ. And Lee is Levi's signature champ. But there are too many junglers. So I would have liked to see something like a Rumble ban, Javan ban, you know, Nah ban, right? I think Loud really trolled. Also, I think a GAM 4-5 bans were close to perfect. Why? Well, when you look at GAM, from their POV, Renekton Sejuani banned. Nocturne, really good into a lot of the junglers that Levi plays and gives them more engage, right? So there are two ways you can counter Orianna. You can play fast engage, right? So against Ori / immobile champs like Xerath, Syndra, etc. Fast engage or poke is best. Fast engage not as good versus either. So Nocturne, good pick. Ornn, good. You know, these picks are just really good. So GAM draft, ban 1 to ban 5, all made sense. Malphite is okay ban, but it's actually a fake counter. Renekton wins lane. Remember, GAM win condition was to take Herald and early snowball. Loud is way better mid to late, right? So basically, like, Renekton has 3 windows as a champion. One for Renekton is level 3. Wave 3 dive. 2 is level 6. All in is fucking OP. You take 3 points in Q. Level 5. Have wave push. And you have R. Then you max W. Then 3 is Herald. This is the only use of Renekton. Flash W. Later, he's a tank. So when you pick Malphite, it's a scaling pick. You can't fight Herald. Does that make sense, guys? So I actually thought that GAM draft was super, super good. Right? And what ends up happening is they pick the Rumble, which is technically a flex as well. And Tinones ends up picking Nico. So realistically, what do you see here? From GAM perspective, you have Orianna versus Nico. Super comfortable, easy to play. Only one threat. Rakan flash R flash W. Is it R W or R flash W? You have Rumble versus Renekton. LOL. This matchup is just so unplayable, right? To give you, I mean, what's the Brazilian word for it? I learned this the other time. One sec. Churrascado. Fiquei churrascado. Okay, if I'm playing this shit, it's a fucking churrascado angle. Okay. And then you have Xayah outrange, Kai'Sa, Nautilus lockdown, and better push, better 2v2 bot. Rakan does outscale, but you have 3 losing lanes plus Jarvan, Renekton, Jarvan, Rumble, Ori combo with Xayah into engage. Perfect. Plus tempo jungle, so like Jarvan, that can cover early lanes and not farm. And they outrange and comp counter them. Right? Engage versus outrange plus disengage. So does it mean Loud can never win? No. Viego can create chaos, not show on map, and try find angles, which he did. So this is why I think Croc did really well. Croc actually did really well. He was an unsung hero. Renekton can always find super play, and Rakan can always find super play angle. But 80-20. Everyone agree? Does anyone disagree here? So guys, once again, I stress, I don't think I was wrong in my analysis. We saw a very good drafting system, right? But Loud just played better, and it happens on the day. Winning 40% of the time is actually quite common, right? But I actually think that Loud also improved. I think today I think Loud is a 60-40 angle right now.